My name is Ryan Dunn, and I'm here as part of the new BASF Ag Solutions Crop Establishment Specialist team, also known as the ACES. My colleagues and I serve to provide better knowledge and expertise to support retailers, growers, and custom applicators to get the most out of the BASF Crop Establishment portfolio. I'm here today to talk to you about some general best practices when it comes to treating seed this spring, and some things to think about as we get into the season. Of course, safety is front and center, so we want to remind you to always wear the proper PPE and follow label guidelines when using our BASF seed treatment products. After safety, the first best practice is to mix and agitate the product well before applying. We recommend at least 5 minutes of vigorous agitation to be sure the product is mixed correctly before use. Mix the product well again prior to use to ensure any product that is potentially settled is properly mixed. Proper agitation can lead to a more uniform product and more accurate application. Secondly, be cautious of the weather, temperature of the seed and temperature of the seed treatment while treating. Store your seed treatment in a warm area and avoid treating seed that is colder than 0 degrees Celsius. When temperatures warm up considerably between the morning and afternoon, or when there are significant changes in humidity, it can affect the seed treating process. Treating cold seed can also cause issues with seed treatment freeze drying on the seed. As the seed warms up, condensation can form on the outside of the seed, causing the treated seed to remain tacky and not dry properly. Next, think about the seed itself. If the seed is dry, it can cause issues such as cracked hulls building up and plugging the metering roller or auger. We always recommend starting with clean seed free of extra debris. When treating dirty and cracked seed, a buildup of seed treatment with dust, dirt, or hull combinations can occur. The solution? Ensure your grain is clean prior to treating and be aware of mechanical damage caused by factors such as combining, augering, and long drops into the bin. In years where dry seed may be an issue, think about adding a bit of water to the seed treatment. Speaking of water, let's talk about when and if to add water. Ensure and Taraxa brands are ready-to-use formulations that do not require additional water. However, there are some situations where adding water may be recommended or beneficial to the seed treating process. Since every treating situation is unique with different treaters, seed type, and conditions, there is no blanket recommendation for adding water. Ultimately, adding water comes down to personal preference and what works best for you. But think about some situations like this when considering whether to add water. Number 1, the equipment manufacturer recommends it. Number 2, you're having trouble getting good coverage. And number 3, the seed is very dry or prone to cracking. The addition of water can help reduce mechanical damage while treating. If water is to be added, BASF recommends a 10 to 25% dilution rate, but will support up to 100% dilution rate. Next, find the best flow rate to avoid plugging. Don't start treating with the seed treater running at 100% capacity. Because treated grain does not flow as easily through an auger as untreated grain, running the treater at full capacity can cause plugging issues. Take the time to adjust and find the best flow rate to optimize seed coverage, knowing that it will vary between old and new equipment due to the flighting in the new equipment not being as worn as old augers. Do not leave your seed treater alone when it's running, as many things can quickly affect seed treating quality, such as temperature fluctuations we mentioned before. Be attentive to the factors that can cause changes to nozzle pressure, including the power source to the pump, an object blocking the filter or the hose, not reaching deep enough into the product. We want to avoid things like over-treating, which can have a negative impact from both an economic and application standpoint. We also want to avoid wet grain. If grain is not flowing properly, there is an increased risk of plugging, leading to buildup of product and debris in the equipment, and other issues that can cause problems with the seed treater or drill metering system. Another thing to avoid is under-treating and not getting the right amount of seed treatment on the seed. So keep an eye out on the seed coming out of the treater is important. Proper calibration will help ensure an accurate rate of seed treatment and proper coverage of seed while reducing the problems that can evolve from over or under treated grain. So calibrate intermittently throughout the seed treating process. Lastly, be cautious of drying times and factors that can lengthen them, such as air temperature, wind speed, relative humidity, seed temperature, seed moisture levels, and seed type. Of course, there are many other factors to consider when it comes to seed treating, and every piece of equipment has different specifications. but these tips will help facilitate an overall positive treating experience. Reach out to your local Ag Solutions crop establishment specialist, Ag Solutions grower rep, or your equipment provider for more information or tips on your seed treating setup.